Forget the T-Rex. Before the first dinosaur ever walked the earth, evolution built a predator that didn't use claws or teeth to kill its prey. It used its face. Meet the Anteosaurus, a 600-kilogram monster from the Permian-era. While other predators evolved sharper teeth, this creature evolved a skull so thick it turned its entire head into a biological sledgehammer. For decades, scientists thought these dense bones were a fossil mistake. They were wrong. New evidence shows this animal hunted with the force of a car crash, delivering blunt force trauma that shattered bone before prey even realized it was under attack. This wasn't just a hunter. It was evolution's first attempt at a living weapon. But why would nature build something this violent, only to erase it from the planet entirely? Imagine the world millions of years before the famous killers like T-Rex and Giganotosaurus appeared. This was a raw, experimental Earth, where evolution tried ideas far more extreme than what later ages allowed. Forests were thicker, prey animals were armored, competition was brutal, and every species raced to out-adapt the others. But in this violent landscape, one lineage took a different path. Instead of chasing speed or stealth, it pursued raw force. This predator didn't creep. It didn't hide. It didn't rely on surprise. It relied on inevitability. Evolution had created a living hammer. Now picture a prehistoric herbivore grazing near a riverbank. It hears the heavy steps but doesn't panic. Many predators make noise. It turns its head and sees the creature charging, not toward the side, not aiming for the legs, but heading straight for the skull. That's the moment everything breaks. A single bone-cracking impact knocks the herbivore unconscious before it even realizes it's been attacked. The predator doesn't need sharp claws. It doesn't need ambush tactics. It doesn't need venom or speed. Its weapon is its own body. This hunting method is so brutal that scientists initially assumed the fossils were deformed. But the more skeletons they found, the clearer the pattern became. This wasn't deformity. It was design. But here's the chilling part. Predators with such extreme specializations usually fail. They over-adapt, they lose flexibility, and they collapse under changing environments. But this creature didn't collapse. It thrived. Fossil evidence shows it spreading into multiple regions, dominating ecosystems and evolving even stronger impact adaptations over time. That shouldn't happen. Evolution punishes extremes. Yet this predator defied that rule. Now think about this. An animal whose every feature screams overkill didn't die out. Instead, it became nature's go-to blueprint for destructive power. But efficiency like this creates a new kind of problem: imbalance. When a predator becomes too good at killing, ecosystems destabilize. Species can't adapt fast enough. Herd structures collapse. Animals evolve thicker armor, but even that becomes useless. Fossils from this era show an unusual rise in bone injuries, fractures, dents, and healed impact scars, all consistent with blunt force trauma. Something in that world hit everything it encountered. This predator wasn't just hunting animals, it was shaping life itself. Now picture another scene. A herd drinking from a shallow lake. Ripples form, heads lift. Silence falls across the water. Something heavy moves beyond the tree line. The predator emerges, its skull catching the faint light, but the herd doesn't scatter. Not immediately. They've never seen anything like this. They don't realize the danger, and that delay is enough. The predator lowers its head again, preparing another devastating strike. One hit, and the entire herd erupts into panic. Survival becomes luck. But here's where the story becomes even more disturbing. This predator didn't rely on brute force alone. Its brain wasn't huge, but it was efficient. It learned, it adapted, it refined its attack strategy. Fossils show variations in skull shape, some broader for ramming, some narrower for focused blows. This means evolution wasn't guessing, it was optimizing. Nature was engineering the perfect destroyer. Now imagine an ancient floodplain where carcasses lie scattered, not torn apart, but crushed. Scavengers struggle to feed because bones are too broken to extract nutrition. Predators compete for fragments of meat. Prey numbers drop. Plants overgrow. Smaller predators vanish entirely. All signs point to a world disrupted by one creature's overwhelming power. And this brings us to the darkest question. Why would nature create something so violently specialized? Some paleontologists believe it wasn't intentional, just a fluke of conditions. Others think prey animals evolved thicker armor first, forcing predators to evolve stronger strikes in response. A biological arms race with no winner. But a few scientists propose something more unsettling. Evolution sometimes produces organisms that are too successful, too dominant, too destructive. Creatures that don't just survive, they erase everything around them. This predator may have been one of those mistakes. A temporary experiment in excessive power, but eventually, like all extremes, it met its limit. Climate shifts, competition from more flexible predators, and changes in environment slowly reduced its advantage. The world moved on, new hunters rose, new strategies emerged, and the bone breaker, with all its terrifying design, faded into extinction. Yet its legacy remains etched in the fossils it shattered, in the skull fractures of prey animals, in the sudden collapses of ecosystems, in the evolutionary arms race it forced species into. It may be gone, but the world it shaped still echoes with the imprint of its brutality. And maybe that's the lesson evolution leaves behind. Power without restraint is unsustainable. Efficiency without balance becomes destruction. When nature builds something too perfect at killing, the world around it begins to break. But here's the haunting truth. Predators like this don't disappear forever. Evolution repeats itself. Designs return. And sometimes, the past warns us of patterns we're not prepared to face again. If you found this creature terrifying, wait until you hear about the hunter that didn't need force at all, because it could kill dinosaurs without even touching them. Like this video, share it with someone who loves ancient monsters, and subscribe for more mysteries from Earth's forgotten ages.